Hey, how's it going there, ladies and gentlemen? So for today I want to make another One Piece video. So right now I want to talk about what's happening in the ed of Egghead Island right now. So there's been a couple of speculations. I've been watching different videos, people's ideas and all that. So people are wondering like where Luffy went to. Is Luffy going to the robot? Is Luffy going to the ship to grab everyone at the last second? Or another speculation people have is did Caribou move Luffy? So that's pretty much the only thing I really think of. My prediction: I don't think Caribou is working for the world government. I don't think he's working for Sword. I don't think he's working for Blackbeard. But I think he's working for someone else that we haven't even met yet. That's going to be introduced later on in the story. Just because Caribou was like introduced like pretty much as like the time skip happened, and we just kind of like, had him along, or he's just been like following along for like the last second half of the story. So I do want to make some predictions. Kizaru looks like he's kind of just he doesn't want to like betray everyone. He's kind of someone. I think he just like fed Luffy, but he's going to play off like he just wanted to do as much as he could to make sure I guess Vegapunk and Bonnie leave because he does have some feelings for Bonnie. Like it's almost as if Kizaru sees him as family. He did have to watch over him for a long period of time, but like I said, I've seen this a million times. It's kind of like that one scene where they're eating pizza and then they do the Nika dance. We have Kuma, Kizaru, the sumo. I keep forgetting his name of Bonnie, and of course Kizaru and Vegapunk. So that always that always made me wonder, like, was that like foreshadowing for like him helping Nika, which I seriously doubt. Um, the Buster Call is being initiated now. This is kind of the funny thing. If this will be like the third Buster Call that Robin has survived. Like that's not a funny thing to say, but it's kind of interesting. Like all these Buster Calls, just the way they're like introduced me in the story is like the end all be all, like the final like execution of like I guess I could say an infestation of an island that the world government doesn't really like, or they just want to get rid of someone that knows a little bit too much, kind of like what happened to Clover Island. So, like my first thought is I thought it would be like Luffy versus the Buster Call because I'm pretty sure Luffy can do some crazy stuff to stop the Buster Call from happening unless they really are surrounded by the whole island. But I do believe the giant robot's gonna have something to like do with the story because I believe it's not just this one robot. There's gonna be like an army of these robots by like whoever was the genius scientist back then. Um, I kind of want to see like the robot just stop the Buster Call. That would like show the power of the robots and like show some fear within Saturn because whatever happened in the Void Century, like it was a hard fought battle. Many things were sacrificed, islands were destroyed, like mysteries were like sealed and all that, and it's just the Gorosei they're just sitting on top of their little throne and all that. I still want to learn more about Alabasta and what's going on with like Vivi's past ancestor, like how that connects with like Emu and all that. But I think we'll get that later on. Freaking in the beginning, freaking in the introduction of the new Egghead Island arc in the anime, it shows Vivi before going into Bonnie, like holding on to Kuma's bubble. There was some speculation that Bonnie would be the next one to get Kuma's double fruit. That is really tragic because that means Kuma's not gonna make it that much longer. I was kind of hoping, somehow save Kuma, just Kuma and Bonnie, just the whole story is like Jesus Christ, man. But I can see Vivi getting the power of the Paw fruit next, just because there was some speculations that like back then that's how the rope poneglyphs were separated was due to Vivi's ancestor back then that used the power of the Paw fruit to like shoot all of them across the world to like have hope for the later generations to like find out information about the world and then fight against the power that's kind of corrupting the whole world because they're on demon time. So I do want to talk about that. There was some speculation because Saint Garcia, when he got punched by Kuma, I knew he would take some damage, but I didn't think he would lose a horn and lose an arm. It kind of makes me wonder if he's like a projection of like Saint Saturn and still in the boat because they're I don't know they're gonna sink the island. I don't think Saturn is like I think he is a devil fruit or I don't know like this is just like an off thing I thought of is like there's someone who created the devil fruits like a scientist back then in the Void Century is what I'm supposing to fight off against these actual devils. So they made these devil fruits and corresponding with the ocean, but betraying it at the same time in order to fight back against this evil, but at the same time betraying the ocean. It kind of goes with that just because of Joy Boy's love for the ocean and his love for the mermaid back then. So that's what's kind of getting me like wonder if Joy Boy had like no other choice and he like either helped or he did create like the devil fruits, but in the same way betraying someone that he was very close with or betraying the ocean itself. So that was kind of like my little prediction to it. At the same time, I thought we would get more information about the devil fruits in Egghead Island, but I guess it does make well. I don't know. I thought we would get a lot of answers here, but I'm not going to complain that this arc has been insanely fun, especially with Kizaru showing up and all that, and especially with Saint Saturn showing up, which is weird. The only one of the elders would show up. Like Nika's there, so it's making me wonder if they're kind of like testing out the devil. Like they've been chasing after this fruit. Like if they're so desperate for this fruit, I thought all five of them would go over there. But I guess that would kind of like raise alarms. It already is raising alarm right now that Saint Saturn is there in giant spider form. Oh well. But I did appreciate like seeing the Straws get a shine. We saw Saji get the chance to save Kuma, and like from their little moment there, telling them like to buzz off. Frankie, he freaking shot a hole through Saturn, which was I was kind of, like when Frankie was first introduced, I was kind of disappointed. Like he felt like he got nerfed as he like joined the crew because he did go toe to toe with Luffy there for a second. He didn't go toe to toe with like second gear, third gear Luffy, but went to toe to toe against like base Luffy there for a second when they were first introduced. So yeah, time for I was happy for Frankie to shine there. I thought he would want to protect the island because he's a scientist and he's been like Vegapunk's like old science lab, and I thought he would want to protect the island there with his life or something like that, or at least protect it to some degree. Kizaru kicked him away, so I'm kind of hoping to see a Sanji versus Kizaru fight. Like that's one of the most anticipated fights that I've been people waiting for the longest time. Because we did get Zoro versus, oh my god, I forgot his name. The Gravity, the new Emerald. He showed up in Dressrosa. I'm ready for his name. We got a chance to see that, but how many times have we got a chance to see like Sanji go up against the Admirals? Not that much. I mean, he went up against like Aokiji and all that back then, pre-time skip. I mean, like now, with them all powered up, like they're like a Yonko crew now. So, but the giant robot, like I do, it does make me wonder. Like Vegapunk, he's gone around the world and he's finding all these different like information about the world's past and all that. It makes me wonder if he knows anything about this old scientist that created robots because he tried to replicate one himself, but it said it wasn't perfect and he got destroyed by Kyozer in one kick. That's why I kind of want to see this one. This robot shows up. The Kyozer tries to kick it. It doesn't do much, but it does like hurt it a little bit because I don't know, the whole power system between the world governments kind of wonky to me because I know they have the admirals, they have the holy knights, they have all these other like powers they have collected throughout the years. But it does make me wonder because they were in the Void Century. Like it makes me wonder if like there's been like different Saturns or different Gorosei throughout the years. Just because I was expecting, I don't know, like some ungodly power from these guys, but that's just me. But they have been sitting on their throne, just kind of like demanding stuff, like giving orders out in the background and all that. So I guess this doesn't make sense. But as I was going to say, is like the Void Century. I was expecting like the Void Century was like this big giant battle that had all these like nations just gathered together to go against this one opponent and all that. And I can definitely tell there's a lot of betrayal and there's a lot of other stuff that happens on. But it's like all the stuff with the ancient weapons, all the stuff with these like ancient robots and all that. I was expecting like a big giant like power dynamic. We did see something like that with Emu, with him like doing his dance and destroying that one island. I'd want to say that's an ancient weapon. It probably is an ancient weapon, but I do have a theory that's like a prototype of something they try to copy. Like they try to copy an ancient weapon, and that's like the prototype or something like that. If not, that's probably an ancient weapon. It literally destroyed the whole entire island. Like in the manga, people try to make theories because it dropped like 9 different drops or something like that of like this powered thing, but in the anime, no, it was just constantly shooting over and over and over and just combusting the island until it turned into a hole in the ocean. So that's why I'm kind of hoping like if these robots, like ancient robots, were like used to fight against these guys a long time ago in the Void Century, I was kind of hoping they would be like somewhat powerful, but, like not powerful enough to survive like an ancient weapon explosion, but powerful enough to go up against like devil fruit users and stuff like that. Because like, it's just a weird theory I have that like a Joy Boy or someone the Joy Boy knew created the devil fruits to fight against these actual devils. So using the power of the devils to fight with the devils, but at the same time betraying the ocean. That's kind of my little theory on that. Um, Another thing I want to talk about is, well, yeah, I do want to talk about like Kizu a little bit more. Just because this is, I don't know, he has shown some mercy towards Kuma in the future. I did want to talk about like when Kuma was like before the pre-time skip when Kuma was just like slapping everyone around and Kizu saying what was going on. Like nothing really bad happened to Kuma after that. Like you would think if Kuma saved, like I thought after Kuma would save the Straw Hats like that, he would just be like gone, just like that, executed. It kind of happened like that to a degree. They wiped out his memory, but it's like I don't know. I did feel like Kizer went a little bit like soft on Kuma right there. Like there was, I don't know. He did say you can't trust the pirates, but there was like a little bit of like I don't know, if like I'm saying if like that was Akainu or Aokiji before he knew the Straw Hats, he probably would just froze Kuma or like Kuma would have been melted. So Kizaru, he's a pretty chill guy, but then again, Rayleigh did go after him, and he was kind of like, "Oh, this is gonna be harder than I thought." So maybe it's just like his unclear justice. I forgot what his justice name actually was, but he's like constantly like doubting himself constantly. So, but he is always like Marineford. He was like pretty much he was acting on his own. Like I didn't see much hesitation. Just besides he was asking Sengoku if it was alright to attack, and of course Sengoku said yes, but I don't know. Like Kizaru, he is definitely a wild card for me. Like he is definitely a wild card. I want to say a lot of things, but I know they're going to be out there. Like him joining the crew is definitely going to be out there. I know he's not going to stay with the world government forever because the world government's going to start to move towards a big plan here because we're starting to get towards the end. We have Joy Boy. We're going to go to Elbaf. Shank's going to be on the move this year because of the year of the Shanks. So I'm not going to lie. I thought someone would show up actually on the island. I knew this would be a big event just because it was, it's built to be this big event. But I thought it'd be Luffy because he is the Yonko. He is the emperor. He is the emperor now of the sea. So I thought he would have to like live up to his role and defend the island against the Buster Call. But I don't know. I can't see Dragon coming. I can't see Shanks coming, even though he did like he's not that far away. But I don't know. Just the way things are playing out, like the only way I can see this going is that like Luffy goes up against they go up against the Buster Call, or they literally just run away and have the robot like fend off against Kizaru and Saturn, which I want to see the most. That giant robot basically is what it's based off of. Go up against Kizaru because I do want to see how these robots go up against a Devil Fruit user and how the robots go up against the Gorosei. So both of them right there. That's perfect timing. I don't know how the hell the robot would do, just judging by the one that Vegapunk made and its ability to go underwater, punch, and use all these different gadgets and stuff. I was um I was kind of hoping like the robots would have some kind of like anti like devil fruit power or like they're not I don't know like some kind of sea prison ability, but I seriously doubt it. I think they're just like a bunch of robots that are just like powerful enough to go up against the world government. But I don't want them to seem like just full on just destroy Kizaru, just punch him or like throw him in the ocean or something like that. Like I just want to see him at least fend it off because it's an old robot. It looks like it hasn't moved in like a hundred like hundreds of years. But I like to see it like fend it off, like showcase the power of like the Void Century and all. Like we got a little glimpse of the let's say if it was yeah we got a glimpse of the ancient weapons destroying the island. I kind of want to get a glimpse of other stuff because we are starting like teeter totter slowly towards that now. Like I feel like once we get to Elbaf, like all the secrets about the Void Century are just going to go off just like that because when we have Shanks, unless Shanks doesn't know himself, but Shanks is the only one I know that went to talk to Gorosei and he's a pirate. Say what's up. Sabo didn't really have the same luxury as that. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to say. I just want to talk about that moment, Egghead Island. Caribou, I've seen that speculation around that Caribou is going to save Luffy. And he's the one that brought him food since he's always like storing himself with food and all that other stuff. And he's going to bring Luffy around. He's going to like try to drag him to the ship. He's like, all right, let's get the hell out of here. The bus call's coming. And then Luffy will change and then head back there. But I guess forgot to mention something. It would mean a lot if Luffy turned into Gear 5 right in front of Kuma and Bonnie, just because of how long they've been waiting. Kuma's been praying to the god Nika his whole life. That's basically his religion, his hope. It would mean a lot if Luffy did show up in Kuma's last moments, and they're right there, right in front of Bonnie to respark her like belief in Nika. Like I could see that happening. So, but at the same time, Luffy will be in the spotlight of Saint Garcia and then Kizaru and the Buster Call. So, but I think it would be fitting if Kuma is going to this is in for Kuma and Vivi will get his power later on. Wait, that means Vivi has to be close. Oh, I didn't think about that too hard. Like the devil fruit, if Kuma dies, it will come to the next devil fruit. Um, I don't know where Waffle's off to, because I know she got a ride with Waffle when he was trying to escape. He like saw what happened, it scared the shit out of him, and he was just trying to buy his way through there and get the hell out of there, and he did. And he grabbed Princess Vivi and left. So it does make me wonder how Princess Vivi will get that devil fruit. So that's what kind of makes me wonder if before when they leave Elbaf, Kuma will say his last goodbye as they're like leaving and all that, and it'll be this final goodbye, and it'll be somewhere close to Vivi and Waffle. So that way Vivi will have the power of the devil fruit. I don't know if that will actually happen, but it's foreshadowed in the opening itself, which is fucking crazy because that was just like it's a popular theory, but it was like a small theory at first, and then it kind of got confirmed just a little bit, which is interesting. Um, but yeah, so I, I don't know. It's just like all this time that Kuma, all after going through all that, it would be kind of disappointing for him not to see like Luffy in his Gear 5 form, even though if he's not conscious. But it would be nice for Bonnie to see that too, just as like for say, look, Dad, Nika, he's real this whole time. So kind of makes me wonder though. Kuma did that to Saturn. I wonder what Luffy could do because that kind of makes me wonder if Kizaru is actually stronger than Saturn. But that also like kind of begs a question for me. Like, is that actually Saturn or is that like a projection? Because he was like summoned. So it kind of makes me wonder if like it was like their shadows that can extend or something like that, or split their shadows. There's a theory that the Gorosei are kind of like part of Emu's shadows, and every time they would go away, he would just bring another one out, or another Saturn out, or something like that. But that's just kind of like theories now. So that's my idea. What's going to happen in Egghead Island. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. Can't wait for the next chapter. It's going to be a long wait, but yeah. Hope you guys have a good day. Peace.